It's been called an inactivity time bomb. People living in the most deprived areas are less likely to be active, which can lead to serious health problems. Across England, inactivity costs the NHS £10.5 billion a year. Sport England, which promotes activity for all, is expanding its work in deprived communities. 5 are here in the West Midlands, including the Black Country. Latest figures suggest 34.8% of adults in that area are classed as inactive. And that means they do an average of less than 30 minutes of physical activity a week. Tanya Sanger has been to one project in Tipton, which ensures adults remain active.
Nice, gentle warm-up.
This group are getting ready for their weekly dose of walking cricket at Tipton Leisure Centre.
So I wanted these guys to be a little bit more active than they were, particularly after the pandemic. Cricket was the easiest sport to pick. It's also one where you can play with any ability.
It's giving a new lease of life for people in the area like Madhu.
I've had 2 knee operations and this has given me an opportunity to continue with my fitness, and now I'm thinking I can carry on and sustain this, yes.
If you think that's impressive, she goes to a second class on Friday evenings, catered for women.
Majority are South Asian ladies, and in the past they've had this taboo of not playing sports. But when it came to cricket, I've got 45 ladies on the books.
But unlike those ladies, there's still a huge amount of people who are classed as inactive in the Black Country, which means they do less than 30 minutes of physical activity a week.
Some of the areas in and around the Black Country, for example in Walsall, in Sandwell, in Dudley, particularly, there are indices of inactivity that are much higher than the national average. In some cases, 10% more people inactive than in the national average. That's not fair. It needs to be addressed.
And like these sessions, Sport England says it will use the funding to create a more tailored approach to fitness.
So the funding will be used to understand community voice, the types of activities that people want to see being delivered, and also work to build capacity in community organisations and voluntary organisations.
And speaking to the group, it's not just the physical benefits they're getting out of this, but there's also a massive social one too.
That I come out of the house, I meet people, and enjoy it, really enjoy it.
I used to play cricket when I was at school, so when I started here, it brought me back memories.
This is a massive opportunity and we're all retired, so we have plenty of time on our hands to keep fit and to be motivated and do all the wonderful things with these wonderful, amazing people.
It might seem like a long way to go for fitness in the Black Country, but this group is already thinking about their next cricket match. Tanya Sanger, BBC Midlands Today, Tipton.
So what more can be done to encourage people to become more active? I'm joined by Leanne Brooks-Smith, Director of Public Health for Sandwell. Thanks for coming in, Leanne. Good to see you. That looks a great project, but it feels as though we've been here so many times before. How much of a concern is this for you, inactivity?
Thanks for having me. Inactivity is a massive, massive concern for us because we know that the long-term effects from the science shows that if you're inactive now or even later on in life, you're at increased risk of having heart disease, diabetes, low mood, also leading on to dementia in the longer term. So we know that inactivity at this point has a massive impact on the longer term, but also the immediate term as well. So the big question here, Leanne, is what can be done? We've just seen a fantastic project there, people clearly enjoying themselves. Often you hear people saying, oh, I just can't exercise, it's not for me. Yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, is that ultimately, as part of this programme, there's been a massive launch of some funding coming from Sports England through Active Black Country. We're doing a large consultation across the 4 Black Country areas, which is Walsall, Wolverhampton, Sandwell and Dudley. So the first thing is be part of that consultation. Tell us what types of activities, like this programme here was amazing, but we tried programmes and they don't work, but this one really took. So being part of those consultations is really, really important for us. Is part of the issue here about inactivity that our lifestyles have just changed so much over the decades? Yeah, our lifestyles have changed massively and the key messages are still the same. So how do we describe to people what that 150 minutes mean, with 150 minutes of moderate activity and the difference it can make to you
over a week?
Over the week. Now 150 minutes, that's 30 minutes a day over 5 days. And you think that's not that much for me to really be able to achieve. That's actually quite easy, but in the drudgery of everyday life, we don't prioritise the time to do that, and there are immediate effects. So just doing that moderate activity, just like 20 minutes, getting up even now and just doing
Don't leave the room.
Yeah. Just doing 20 minutes now can improve your mood, it can help your sleep, it can help with stress, it can reduce stress levels. It's just really important to us right now that people start to land those messages and make those behavioural changes.
So it really is just about those little changes.
Yeah, just 30 minutes a day, do 10 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes of an evening maybe, just get your heart rate up, your breath a little bit more laboured. That can really make a difference to your long-term health prospects.
Leanne, really good to have you with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And it's good to have you with us here on Midlands Day too. Jafari will